All right, let's get started. I'm gonna do long one. All right, this is actually from a YouTube comment that we had on when we answered how to train 2 puppies at the same time. Our answer was pretty much don't, but anyway. anyway.
She's not wrong, it was.
Natalie says, hey, this hit home with us. Our Cocker Spaniel passed away last year, and it's been really, really hard. Cocker Spaniels are also really good. Family dogs, lower key. I like them a lot. Anyway, and they have the big eyes. Okay. Earlier this year, we got 2 Cocker Spaniel puppies, brothers. Oh, God. Brothers, really? Out of everything you chose, Natalie, you chose 2 brothers? And we learned about sibling syndrome. I bet you did. We didn't know it when we got them. Nobody does. I can't believe breeders aren't like easily handing over this very important information. Anyway, breeders, come on, get on the ball. We separated their crates now. We've walked them separately, fed them in different rooms. They do not listen to us at all when they're together. We have a long road ahead of us, but hopefully we will all get there and be successful. You guys are great and give lots of helpful tips. Thank you, Natalie. There was no question in there. Thank you. It was just a very nice comment that I was supposed to read, I guess.
That's a change of pace.
Yeah,
like that.
That's a change of pace.
Ricky's like, this is just to like boost up that ego a little bit.
Yeah. Perfect. And I will say this, Natalie, I know you were on YouTube, but if you happen to be watching, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. You're doing really, really great work. You're making great changes. This line, we know we have a long way ahead of us, but hopefully we'll get there and be successful. I just have to say, and this is from experience as well, my own experience as well as working with other people, there's always going to be some limitations when you have 2 dogs from the same litter. There's going to be a certain set of limitations that you wouldn't have had if you had gotten 2 dogs individually and slightly different ages. However, if the road goes good for you, there's also some fun in it as well, having 2 siblings once you get over the hump and they get a little bit older. But yeah, there's pros and cons to everything. Okie dokie. Let's find a question. I'll do the long one. About the okay, so this is about our online school from Jake. I had a question about Puppy Academy. I wasn't sure where else to ask. From the UK, I have an 8.5-month-old cockapoo that knows the basics, but I'm still having problems with the recall, the pulling on leash, the down. There's like a checklist. Waiting and staying. Is this too old to start any new training? Would me being from the UK cause any difficulties running the program, or would it still be achievable? Yes, it's still totally achievable. You can absolutely start our online program. You will find some of it that you won't need all of it. So you won't need the potty training video that's 20-25 minutes. There's a few things that you won't need, obviously, but no, you can still benefit from this a lot. One of the main things we focus on is engagement. And I'm sure you've done a lot of engagement, but have you done it the right way? And by right way, I mean our way. And so there's a lot of engagement to start with, a way your dog perceives you, the way your dog perceives food. And then pretty quickly, pretty much as soon as we start teaching place, we go into how to get them to stay.
And be calm.
And
settle.
And be calm and learn how to settle. And thresholds and all of that good stuff. So
I think the best part of our online program though is there's actually a separate hour every single week to where you can literally join us for this like Zoom class separate from this one and ask us questions. You can bring your dog, you can demonstrate what you've tried. We'll demonstrate on our end what we think you should do instead or how to promote what you're already doing. And we actually have a lot of people that come from this 30-minute live that join the online program so they can get that extra hour and get more one-on-one time to ask their questions.
And the people that can't make that time slot because of a time difference or work or something like that, they just email in very specific questions and we sit and talk about it for 20 minutes sometimes.
And it tends to spark other questions from the other people in the live, which then could even answer other questions you don't even realize you have yet.
Yep. So anyway, yes, I mean, obviously we think our program's great, but 8 months old, yeah, 8 months old, I would have said might be a little on the older side until I read, down, pulling, recall, stay. So yeah, you would get a lot out of it. Okay, you want to do some of the shorter ones?
The one short one?
The one short one.
Oh, now you want the calm puppy.
Well, now that I'm not reading, oh yes,
That's what she did
I'll
there.
sit here and get kisses. Yeah.
Okay. Eats poop, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. That's it.
I hate that. You guys hear what he said? Said that she eats poop. Lies. I don't believe it.
I know.
I don't believe it.
You're not a he. Okay. He actually is a he. All right. How to teach a 5-month-old puppy not to bark once in the crate. Oh, you sick human
There you
being.
go.
You saved that one for me?
There you go.
Well, welcome
Go
to
ahead, take it away.
a fifth of my life at Puppy Academy, which is dogs that come in who aren't used to the crate and us having to...
Wait, only a fifth of your life?
Okay, well, a fifth of my work life. There's a lot of dogs that come into Puppy Academy and they're still not used to crate. There's a couple things that we do to help a dog become more comfortable in crate. One, we get them on a schedule, so we're not just putting them in there when we leave, which is a negative association, or at night, which seems to be a little bit easier because it's like hibernation mode.
So even if you're home, you're on a schedule, it creates predictability.
And they're going in the crate on the hour.
Yep.
Every 2 to 3 hours.
Predictability creates comfort and confidence, just like in kids.
Through routine.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, we like jumped in.
I know.
Look how good we are. All right. Also, anytime you do the crate, we also like to feed in the crate. We try to do the things that they enjoy associated with the crate. When they come out of the crate, we don't just take a dog out of the crate or put them back in. If we have a dog that's very uncomfortable being in the crate, when we put them in the crate, we put them in, good treat, release them for no food. Put them in, good treat, release them for no food. So if a dog goes in the crate and they assume that every time that door opens, they're going to be in there for an hour plus, that can create a negative association. So times, and not for every dog, just for the dogs that are already struggling in it, but for the dogs that are struggling, we put them in there, release them 5 to 10 times in a row. When we're letting them out of the crate and we know they don't have to go potty right away, we'll let them come out, put them back in 5, 10 times in a row. And then same thing for like even the door to get outside. We try to practice thresholds in any form to help them settle. Like when that crate door opens, they want to dart out of it. Let them get about halfway, close the door, give a firm, calm, stoic no. They back off, open it slowly, a couple inches at a time. They wait. Good. Still calm energy. Break. Relax energy. They come out and we put them right back in. We do that 5 or 10 times in a row. We're trying to move away from high energy impulse to controlled energy, impulse control, to help them settle, relax, and associate the crate with calm.
Which means you have to pattern everything. Don't just pattern crate. We call it house. So on leash, by the way. House, down if your dog will down, sit if your dog will sit. If it's a brand new puppy, just house and pause at the door.
Yep.
Pause. Let's go, or come, or heel, whatever you want. Tiny turn, back in house. Pause. Close door, open door. Pause. Come on out 10 times. And then if I do say, oh, I love this dog. I love him. Oh, yes. He's so sweet. He's like melted. Okay, anyway, I'm focused. So do this. Excuse me, it's my microphone. Do this not just for the crate, but like he said, for threshold, but might be for food bowl. So you put food bowl down and you only have like 2 to 3 pieces in there. Eats it all up. Okay, sit. And has to wait. And if that's too hard, put them in crate and use the crate door to get them to wait. And then you put the bowl down, pause, break, or release, or take it, whatever you say, and then put the food bowl inside the crate. If my puppy, we actually just had a dog, it's an older dog too, but has never had any boundaries. Oh, good spot. Has never had any boundaries, it's Beagle. And they've done a good job of like saying, wait, sit, and then go. But the brain is constantly in forward motion. So she's sitting, she's almost shaking with anticipation at this point. And in their head, they're like, oh, but we've always had her stop and sit, so it's okay. I'm like, this Beagle's is trying to drool. Once I release the Beagle, trying to drag me out the door. So what do? We don't just say no and bad dog and correct. No, we just do leash guidance. We come back in the house and we do it again. I do it 5, 6, 7, 8 times. until they're like, well, I guess we're not going for a walk. This is boring. They're calmer. All right, so when they're calmer, just by patterning it over and over again, then they're going to be more receptive to me influencing their behavior. Now I might give them a piece of food. Now I might say, hey, hold on. I might do a little blocking or something like that. But I don't even bother when the brain is so much in forward motion. So my point is...
I want to play devil's advocate.
My point is, long story short, pattern things over and over and over again to help them calm down, not just with crate, but with other things in their life where they're really pushy, overly excited, stuff like that. Like if someone pets your dog and you're like, no, don't jump up, sit, good, food. Well, that's not the end of the exercise. The person freezes, pets them again 5 more times where the dog doesn't jump and feels what it feels like to be calmer and successful at the exercise. All right, devil's advocate that.
Okay, you have a dog that just came out of the crate. Are you still making them wait 4 or 5 times of waiting at the door, shooting out, coming back in? What if they have to pee? What if they
that's different. If it's a puppy that has to pee, then they just have to pause, and then I might even scoop them up and take them out first thing in the morning.
But then would you bring them back to that door after?
Yep. Then I bring them back in crate, and we do their morning kibble routine, their morning food routine, and they do it over and over and over again. Sometimes it's just for fun, to make sure they don't think it just means go in there whenever I'm going to leave you. And then sometimes it's specifically to lower their heart rate, calm them down.
Beautiful. Yeah. I actually really like what you said about having the person pet them after. I would say 1 in 20 trainers will actually tell you to do that because you're not.
It's almost
you're
shot out.
Not conditioning them to just be calm. You're also conditioning them to retry the distraction again. It's like when I have a dog that lunges towards another dog to go play, I don't just correct them and walk by. I actually redirect them back, and we do it 4 or 5 times in a row until they can do this. Look at the dog, check in with me, good treat, and we keep on going. That's when I know I've done it, and then I'll do 2 or 3 more times on top of that, and then we'll move past that distraction.
Okay, you want to know what new thing I've been telling my clients?
Let's hear it, Bethany.
It's so good. It's so good, guys.
So good.
Okay, so if you want to walk, if you want to, do what you just described, I'm like, if you want to walk by a barking dog and you just say no to your dog and keep going, and they listen, okay, fine. That's training. It's training. Your dog listened to you. You want to rehab your dog and actually change the perception of how your puppy sees the situation. You do what we do, and you turn around and you do it 5 more times until the dog or puppy is more relaxed in the situation you had them in. It doesn't matter if that barking dog is long gone around the corner. They're still holding on to that emotion. And so you do your turns, stop and sit, turn. Don't leave that area until they have a different idea of how they feel about that moment, that situation, that area. Well, that's the same with crate, with threshold, because dogs learn by associations and habits. So if my dog is chomping at the bit to eat, and I put the bowl down, and I'm just like, break, I've had a long day, break, which I absolutely do sometimes. They're like, yes! I'm rewarding crazy excitement. It doesn't matter that they sat. So if I want to really help them be calm, I'm going to have them do it a few times, have them wait longer, do more impulse control with the puppy.
I might even hold the bowl in my hands, and as they're eating, I'll slowly lift up, and then eventually it's going to bump the bottom of their chin. They'll back off. Dogs sit, kind of hold the ball back so they can't jump on you. Good. Lower it down, break, and then you invite them to eat by almost even handing it to them.
Our point is, there are so many things that we do with our puppies to just tell them no. They have 2 modes. No, don't do that. And then here's a treat. Well, what about doing the same thing over and over again to really change the way they perceive a situation? That's where the money's at. So that's what I've been telling my clients recently. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You're training your dog, but you actually want your dog to calm down or not have to tell them no, then you need to repeat the process many, many times,
You're teaching existence in a more challenging environment.
Yep.
And that actually, that takes us into our next question.
Fine.
If I give her the paper, I'm never going to answer anything. All right. Tips on training in
true.
public.
It's true. If I have the paper, I'm in control.
She took the microphone to our live last Wednesday.
That's
I didn't get it
because-
back.
That's because you need to get another one.
There is no other one. Okay, tips on training in public. We are having a hard time going through pet stores without her dragging me down the aisles. Okay, I like this one. So
Well, wait. See, part of the reason I need the paper is because on
there's
the
no
visual.
age, there's no breed.
See, that makes me sad.
But
TikTok.
It's a young looking little puppy.
TikTok,
You
that
see a
makes me
picture?
sad. There is a photo,
It could
but
be the dog from 4 years
that
ago.
honestly,
But in the actual color picture, it was a little young looking.
it looks like an 8-week-old dog. Yeah,
Right.
It
We're going
really
to
does.
assume that you have a young puppy, and if you don't, sorry.
by
but we're gonna assume you do.
young puppy TikTok, by honeybee from TikTok, which I don't think you said, by the way.
I did say honeybee.
Oh, okay. We're gonna answer this as if your puppy was under 16 weeks old, and we're just gonna assume has shots, and you're cool going in pet stores. All right.
All right, you walked into a pet store. Your dog is just kind of going crazy, overstimulated. That just might be honestly a little bit too challenging for a young puppy. Maybe you guys have to do a little bit more conditioning in your home, backyard, front yard, sidewalk in front of your house, and then be able to build up to it. What I would say though is it's okay to take a dog to the pet store, have them on a longer leash, and kind of let them get curious, let them check out an area, and maybe you're going there specifically to train. And that's what I do when I take my puppies there, is I go to an area of the pet store that's calm and quiet. I let them kind of sniff around a little bit, get familiar with their setting, and then I'll bring out my food and I start doing my dog's name, come good treat. 4 or 5 times, 5 or 10 times.
What?
I know,
Treat? What?
you know your come command. And then once we tune in the dog and we get more focused, then I'll practice moving into more difficult areas, recalling them away from it, and walking the opposite way down the aisle.
Yep.
So I'm trying to find a threshold. And people have watched our previous episodes, they know that I say threshold a lot. What a threshold is, I'm not talking about a doorway. I'm talking about a mental threshold, and every dog has one. Hell, every human has one. What it means is that
Yeah.
they get to a certain point to where they're like, I'm good, focus, gone. And that means that now they're pulling you, dragging you down the aisle. So you got to find what that threshold is. You don't work them at threshold, you work them below threshold. And you get it to the point to where that threshold raises a little bit more each time that you go, till eventually they can go down the aisle, see a dog, and be like, oh, hey mom, good treat, heel, let's go, and then kind of walk them away from it. So you're finding what they're capable of doing, what they're not, and then building up that threshold. But sometimes it's just too challenging where you are. You got to find a spot they can work and then play around with that area.
As right as Sparky is, he's also just as wrong. And I'm gonna go over why.
I'm ready, Bethany. Tell me what I'm wrong about.
Who is this?
Sound like my girlfriend.
Who is this? Dolce?
This is Dolce.
Dolce. Okay. Dolce and Gabbana. So I'm taking Dolce out, and usually, let's say he drags me around like crazy. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure I've got some focus. We're just gonna go in the front yard. Turn food. Turn food. He won't even do that. So I'll do the more engaging version, which is take steps backwards with a food. Oh yeah, he knows what that is, right? So I'm going backwards with a food lure and saying come, like he mentioned. Okay, that works good. Now I wanna go back to just turns. Okay, now he's following me on the turn. Sit. Okay, now I've got some eye contact. Now we get into the car. I drive to not a pet store because that is one of the most challenging places. Instead, I go to an outdoor mall or maybe a Lowe's or Home Depot. You'll have to ask if they allow dogs. Different ones do have different rules. And I try that instead. It has less of the pheromones that come from grooming places at pet stores, and it has less pee smell everywhere and food and treat smell.
But that's their favorite part.
It's overwhelming. So I pull up to Lowe's and I don't even go inside yet. I open the door, make sure my puppy will wait in the car. Sit down, pause. Pick up the leash, pause again. If they can't do that, I shut the door, I get inside, I get their focus with food in the back seat. Like, I'm not letting them out if they're being pushy and demanding it, because then how am I supposed to get their focus in the store? It's never gonna happen. So my point is, you gotta take this step by step. Do I go in the store? No, I work outside of the store, in the calm part of the store. Turns, come, okay, I've got that. Now let me go to where the door is, where people are going in and out. Can he even handle that? Okay, good. We go inside, we find a quiet corner, like he mentioned. My point is, you may get to the store and not even be able to go inside. You'll just be working outside of the store. That might be your first 3 trips, and that's normal and totally okay. That's what I'm trying to say. Then Sparky's right.
Baby steps.
And and it's just really important because someone, if I didn't say that, someone would think, oh, okay, that's all I have to do. Well, no, there's a lot more to it than that.
Put in the spot again.
Yes, I'm having so much fun. Like,
I think he is too.
He is so cute. He's the sweetest dog ever. Yes. Oh, I love you. It's like the only puppy we've been able to keep the whole time ever.
That's because you've literally had his spot the whole time.
No, no. This puppy's special. You're special, puppy.
He spends a lot of time with his dad.
You're special.
Okay, Justin.
Justine.
Oh.
It is Justine.
Justine.
Tahui photo.
Tahui photo.
Justine. All right, any advice for our 5-month-old puppy that goes in his box? I'm assuming we mean crate. I watch his water intake before I know he needs to go in his crate. He doesn't have accents within the house, just the crate. Okay.
Is it a crate or is it a playpen? I don't know what box.
I don't know, it says box.
Well,
I'm assuming
I don't know.
it's the crate.
She might be from another part of the world and refers to it as box.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to assume that you may mean what we call crate or playpen. So.
Yes.
But there are people who have trained their dogs to go in a box-like area, but she clearly doesn't want it, so it can't be that.
Watches the water intake. He doesn't have accents within the house, just the box. So I'm guessing the question is, how do we stop him from having accents in his box? My question is, do we have him on a schedule? Because if we're just kind of using the crate whenever we feel like we need it, he may not properly be voiding his bladder before going in there. Our schedule relies on anytime a dog goes in the crate, that means they've already previously pottied. So our schedule out breaks down is in the crate for, let's say, 2 hours. Right when we take him out of the crate, we leash him up, put him on his harness, all that good stuff, walk him to the potty area we want him to go, and we stand there like a tree, wait for him to go potty. If he doesn't go within 2 minutes, put him back in the crate, let him hang out, settle for about 15-20 minutes. If you hear a very shrill bark, not his normal bark, that means he probably has to go. Take him out again for the potty, let him do his thing, and then we give him a window of free time broken up into a couple different parts, and then feed, water, back in the crate. So that means that you're teaching him how to hold his bladder after allowing him to void the bladder. But also, water intake matters too. I think the scientific number what a dog needs for water, it's a half cup of water per 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. So if I'm giving a bowl of water that's this big and I'm just like eyeballing it, maybe I'm giving a cup and a half, 2 cups of water. He's drinking a cup and a half.
They're going to need to go every 20 minutes for 2 hours, you know?
And if you have a little puppy who drinks exorbitant amounts of water, like we have a dog named Kanoa, he would drink water like it's the last thing in the world. And he will drink it all day long. He'll finish a gallon if I give it to him. He will pee every 30 seconds in that crate and have accidents too.
Yeah.
So find how much water he needs, kind of take that little number and like break it down and see where you fit into that. And then also make sure that when he's going into the crate, he has an empty bladder that was just refilled to a certain point, and we're teaching him how to hold that bladder. If you're putting him in for 2 hours, he has an accident, try an hour and a half. He holds it, great, that's your number. Build up from there. As he gets older and more mature, you'll be able to push him a little bit farther with that schedule.
I would also say, because he's not going in the house, it sounds like he's developed a habit of going in his box or crate. Yeah. And it is a hard thing to break. So I want you to remove all towels, all bedding, everything out of there.
That could have been soiled especially.
Yep, because he could be even marking it at this point or just be comfortable. I know there's this thing that a lot of trainers say, which is your dog, and breeders will say this too sometimes, is your dog naturally doesn't want to go where they live. Well, that might be true initially, but once they do it a few times and that's the option, and that's, oh, now we're getting fussy. Hey, settle down.
So I've been here for 30 minutes.
I know, yeah, he's been doing good. That's the option, and then it becomes the norm. I mean, think, not to like get weird, but people too, sometimes what people live with, we would never think would be possible, but it becomes the norm.
Until you live in it for 3 weeks and it's...
Then, yeah, exactly. So you just got to keep that in mind. One thing I would say is, besides pulling everything, I understand how gross that might be. So if your dog doesn't chew anything, I might even put a puppy pad in there or something just to catch some stuff. Not to puppy pad train the dog. That's not what I'm saying. It's just to catch pee so it doesn't get all over them, because it will if he's in a hard crate. The other thing. Wait a minute. The other thing is, I've done it before. Hush. The other thing is to put a puppy pad on the outside of the crate too.
Gotcha.
So if you put it underneath on the outside, it can catch anything going around the rims. And then when your puppy walks out and you have to clean him up, he'll step on the pee pad, not even on a towel or on the carpet or anything, to where you have to do this rigorous cleaning. Pee pads are expensive, but hopefully that won't take too long. Those are just some suggestions as you kind of make this transition with him.
I agree with the potty pad outside the crate, but my one challenge to that is if I'm already potty training a dog to go on pee pads in the house, then I won't usually put one inside the crate, because it can create a mixed message of, if I pee outside the crate on a potty pad, then I'm supposed to pee inside the crate on a potty pad.
But that's if you're not potty pad training.
That's correct, yeah. If you're not potty pad training, then do what she said.
Yeah, because I've worked with, we had a Havanese that really thought, oh, I go in crate and I pee there, because they would get so excited outside, and they would just go in the crate and pee because it calmed down, and then it became a habit. And I got tired of washing this puppy 3 times a day, and so I would do that. It didn't
Sounds like Rufus.
Yeah, so anyway, guys, just little things like that, little tips or tricks to get you over the hump. That's not an easy scenario. I hope that gives you some ideas. Oh, one more. Make sure if your box is a big playpen, if that's what you mean, it needs to be small. Like, the crate needs to be only big enough for the puppy to fit in from nose to tail, stand up, turn around, lay down. If there's more room in there, then it becomes a playpen. Then they're much more likely to go potty very quickly, within 10 minutes even of being put back in crate, versus 20, 30 for a 5-month-old.
Areas.
Yeah.
One area will be like the pee spot, one area will be the lay down spot, and the more that they pace back and forth, it creates more anxiety, and also more need to go potty. Man, I had one more thing I was going to say.
I'm sure it was brilliant.
It always is.
I'm sure it was.
It wasn't that important, apparently.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. Next week, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Dolce says, have a good week.
You're going to watch Bethany pick on me for another half an hour?
Bye. Yep, exactly. Don't miss out. Don't miss out.